What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the park. It is one of the hottest days here in June. I believe it is 112 degrees right now. And I'm out here partially because I'm an idiot, but partially because I want you to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell down below. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Today, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to set up the Spacenet in the park, what exactly it is you're looking for, everything you'll need, and all that kind of stuff. So in these bags, we've got all our Spacenet material here. We've got all our paracord, we've got our actual net, and we've got a knife. Don't forget to bring a knife so you can cut all your paracord. I've definitely done that a few times and haven't been able to weave Spacenet stuff. And then here's all the stuff to actually rig the Spacenet. We have a few span sets for the trees so we could anchor. We have some web locks for the webbing. And then of course we have our pulley system. First things first, we're gonna pick 3 trees with a pretty nice angle. So this tree back here, that tree over there, and that tree over there. Make a pretty nice triangle. If you're making a triangular net, you obviously want to pick a triangular area between your trees so you don't have any weird angles when you're weaving. If you're making a square net, you want to pick 4 trees that are kind of in a square, and the same goes on with a pentagon and a hexagon and whatever kind of net it is you're making. Just make sure you have the right shape when you're weaving so that way it doesn't look weird. So anyway, I'm going to set this thing up really quick and then I'll explain what I did. So stick along. I wanted to stop the time lapse for a little bit just to clarify a few things that I've got going on here. So if we start here, this anchor here, I just have a frost knot here and it comes to a web lock on our Spacenet here. My good friend Matt Stoling taught me this years ago. I have a slack jumper going to another web lock, and the rest of the webbing goes to that anchor. And then on the third point, I've got a sewn loop coming off the Spacenet, coming all the way over here to our pulleys, which we're gonna hard point. I'm not gonna take the pulleys out of the system, and they just go to a web lock here. And I just wanted to clarify one thing. So what I like to do, I like to get some tension into the 2 legs that don't have the pulleys first, just by hand, just so that way I line it up with this tree that's over here and has the pulleys. So that way when I start pulling on the pulleys, I get a nice angle with it. It's not a weird, non-symmetrical triangle, if you will. So I'm going to go back into time-lapse mode, pull some tension in these 2 guys, a little bit of slack. Then I'm gonna go pull on the pulleys and then we'll come back to this. Whew, boy, it is hot. Okay, we're all set up. It looks kind of perfect actually with the angles. I'm pretty stoked on how this came out. So I'm just gonna talk about kind of how tight I pull it. You'll see it's a little tight. It's gonna lose a little bit of tension because you know the blue's here and stuff, but when we start weaving and all that, it'll start to bow in and we'll get a little more tension in it. Again, I have it on my pulley system. If you're gonna soft point, make sure you put a soft release on it so you can get it off. Now I'm using the rad 5-to-1 pulley system, the BLNC, and I put a multiplier on it to get 15-to-1. I have some friction here. I'm going through a carabiner. And just to give you an idea, I can still pull some tension out of this. So it's not as tight as I can get it, but I'd say I got it to about 80% on a 15-to-1. So that's how I like it with a net like this. On my bigger net, I was getting it up to 4 or 5 kilonewtons. That was my weaving tension. By the way, It helps a lot if you have a dyno that you can use. That way you could set it to the same tension every time. But to be completely honest, the absolute best way to weave a net is to finish it in the same session. That way you're absolutely sure that all the paracord was weaved under the same tension. Otherwise, remember what pulley system you use to pull and try to pull the exact same every time you weave. Full disclosure, I pulled a little bit tighter this time because I wanted these knots to set. They feel a little more set now. So with that said, I'm gonna start the weaving portion of this. That'll be a whole separate video. Now that it's set up and I know exactly what I need for the future, setting up a net like this, again, will be much faster. It took me a little longer today because I had to put all the legs together and figure out how short I wanted each leg. But now I'll keep that in my memory, and that'll be really, really fast next time. Quick note about de-rigging a Spacenet like this. For a small one, you just kind of put all your corners in the middle, and it's very easy to de-rig. But if you're making a big net, kind of like the 15 by 15 by 15 meter one that I've got, it's a little more complicated to take down. So I will bring my big net out here again in the near future and make a video showing how I de-rig that big net, because it's a whole process within of itself. So stick around and I'm gonna start weaving, and that'll be a whole nother video. But essentially this is how you set up the net. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful at all, if you enjoy me suffering out here in 113-degree heat, I can't even talk, it's so hot. Please subscribe below, like this video, share it with your friends. According to my analytics, about 85% of you are unsubscribed, and I promise you it only costs you like 2 seconds to hit those buttons. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all again soon. Cheers.